Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another Starcraft 2 broadcast here at SK Gaming. My name is Anaris, and today we're here watching the first game in the best of 5 grand finals between DIMAGA spawning as the red Zerg down in the bottom right position against Stephano, another Zerg down here who is even busting out the Power Rangers thing here in the bottom left. Now, like I said, this is the grand finals, so both of these players will be receiving a killer 2100 gaming network card after the conclusion of this tournament. However, only one of these players will actually receive the $250 grand prize. Now, with this being a Zerg versus Zerg, this is kind of a unique matchup for the Champions Trophy series. So far in this tournament series, we haven't actually had a Zerg make it to the grand finals. So now we have not one but two here. I don't even know what to expect. But let's go over a little bit of player information now. We'll start off actually with DIMAGA. Real name is Dmitry. He's a 24-year-old player from the Ukraine. He is of Team Mortal Teamwork, MTW. And he's actually a former Brood War player, so he's been around for quite some time. Recent accomplishments, he took second place in the HD World Tournament, and he was also the first player to beat Nestea televised in first player to beat Nestea in a televised ZVZ. So pretty cool stuff there. Good accomplishments for DIMAGA. Over here, Stephano. He is his real name is Elias. I think I'm pronouncing that right. A 17-year-old player from France, and he has actually won 5 of the last Go for SC2 Cups that he has participated in. He's a former Warcraft 3 player, so we obviously have two very skilled individuals here. Now let's look at the builds. Right now we see Stephano and DIMAGA both actually mirroring off of each other right now. The Overlords are just now arriving at each other's bases, and it looks like the pool is going down a little bit earlier for Stephano than it is for DIMAGA, just by a few seconds there. And we'll see how that translates into a strategy. Maybe it could just be a little bit the same strategy, just a couple seconds off. I don't want to get into details at this point, but yeah, it'll be very interesting. One thing that I'm hoping we don't see in this tournament series, and this is something I've noticed that happens a lot with ZVZ, is you'll get into a very long, drawn-out fight where you'll have Zerglings running across the map for 15 minutes, and then Banelings for another 15 minutes, and then finally somebody does a daring move and busts out like 3 mutas and a biscuit. And, well, frankly, I think the biscuit is the biggest part of how the game actually turns. So I'm hoping that we don't have like a 45-minute game of back-and-forth Zerglings, or variants thereof. I'm hoping that we're going to see some nice tech action. One thing that's already different from a lot of ZVZs that we've seen recently is the players both went for that natural expansion. I think one of the reasons for that is it's a little bit safer to have that kind of style of play on this map. Shakuras Plateau does have a relatively easy to defend natural. You can see here's the ramp right here, and leading up to it is your main ramp to your main base. So it's very easy to access, and you can also throw down like an evolution chamber, something like that, couple spine crawlers, and really not have that much of a difficult time blocking it off. And of course, if that always falls, you can block off your ramp right here with a couple queens, bring back your spine crawlers and place them back here. Either way, it can be any number of things. So this is actually one of my preferred maps currently on the Blizzard ladder rotation, which we could see we've got a couple Zerglings actually heading over here for DIMAGA, going to be trying to scout out the natural. There is one queen here, should be able to handle 2 Zerglings, not that much of a problem. Yep, sure enough, able to smack those and make sure that DIMAGA keeps on running. Ooh, Stephano might actually lose a drone. One of them does go down. First kill of the game right here, folks. 2 Zerglings and a drone. So it looks like it's going to be cutting even there for both players in terms of resources lost. Yep, looks like actually both of them were just content with getting their economy going. I think that's a really interesting and style of play, but yet I'm sure that both players are kind of uneven. You see, they're still doing pretty much the same thing. Here comes a bunch of Zerglings now. Speedling upgrade is complete. And of course, DIMAGA has his own Zerglings. But here's the interesting thing about ZVZ. Both players have Overlords that are scattered around the main walkways of the map. And of course, that's going to mean that you're going to have plenty of warning for when an attack is going to be coming. Point in case right here, DIMAGA has the Overlord, and if the Banelings actually come this way, then he should be able to spot them. But looks like DIMAGA actually running in here with a few Banelings of his own, hoping to get some early kills. Just a Baneling highway right here. Wow. Nicely handled by DIMAGA, sending out a couple of Zerglings. Oh, might actually get 2 Baneling kills. That one did pop off a few Zerglings. 1 Baneling for 2. And continuing to march onward here. Looking in DIMAGA, we see he is marching over a couple of Banelings. And Stephano taking out a lot of Zerglings. Let's watch these Banelings over here. They're going to try to get into the mineral line. That's going to be a pretty hefty hit. Oh, takes out so many drones. Very nicely handled there. We can just watch the units lost right here. As we can see, those drones have been taken out for DIMAGA as well. Pretty interesting stuff there. But look, Stephano has only killed 4 workers. DIMAGA has scored 9 so far. Roachhorn going down for DIMAGA. I think that's actually a really good move at this point, seeing as how both of these players have just got their economies knocked down a little bit. Number 1, Roach's good defensive unit. Number 2, if he decides to kind of throw those Roaches into the attack, it's going to be kind of a wrench. Stephano isn't going to quite know how to handle it. Well, I mean, he'll know how to handle it, but in terms of the unit composition that we have here, plenty of Zerglings, plenty of Banelings, and then some Roaches running in there. Pretty interesting stuff indeed. Spinecrawler is now finished. Looking good here for Stephano. We can actually see that drone production has been pretty much just largely cut for both players. They're still kind of, they kind of have enough right now. They're comfortable with what they got. And so they're focusing on the Zerglings and Banelings. They don't really need a huge income to actually handle this style of play. DIMAGA trying to run in here. It looks like he's actually going to get a couple of his Zerglings surrounded by Stephano, who has a very solid defense here. I do like how DIMAGA has managed to engage Stephano here at the bottom of the ramp, keeping a lot of Stephano's forces back and making the playing field a little bit more even, despite the fact that Stephano had all of those units backlogged on the ramp. DIMAGA is retreating here, pretty much a good idea. You look at the production, you see he has plenty more Zerglings on the way, also a number of Banelings, which will be ready very soon. I'm sure Stephano is wanting to bust in here. Yep, he sees those Banelings. He knows that he doesn't want to send the full force in there, so he's going to send a couple Zerglings, one of them, or a Banelings. Oh, man, it looks like that one Baneling scattered or skipped right past all the other ones, now doubling back and taking it out. DIMAGA using the Queen to try to pop a Baneling or two. Very smart move there. Here comes Stephano again. Nice Zergling interception there. It looks like a few of them did get into the mineral line, while DIMAGA forced Stephano to retreat back down the ramp. And is continuing to build those Roaches. Like I said before, I think that's a great idea. Let's see, has Stephano actually spotted that yet? That's going to be the question. Okay, no, it looks like he has not, but he's probably going to, he's probably just going to assume that they are there, because now we have the Roaches popping out. I don't think DIMAGA actually made those Roaches known until just a moment or two ago. But Stephano dropping off his Roachhorn down here at the top of the natural ramp. Again, like I said before, very nice placement on that. That's going to help us secure the ramp there. A couple Banelings here in the field, but largely just a unit or a force comprised of Zerglings. We can actually look at the Units tab and see the comparison. 35 to 32 in the drones. Alright, that's fine and dandy. 22 each on the Zerglings. About the same on the Banelings as well. That's going to be the, that could be the wild card for this attack, those Roaches coming in. Let's see how this is handled. It's going to be very, very micro-intensive. I like the Baneling spread that Stephano has. Let's see, alright, Baneling's taking the initial hit, and now the Roaches are being sent up here to absorb a lot of the Baneling damage. There's only 2 Banelings left for Stephano, so now the Zerglings are free to run in here. We can expect him to try to utilize these to kill all of these Zerglings running around, and then find some way to handle the Roaches, probably with the Zergling surround, which you see DIMAGA definitely is in a good spot right here. He's keeping these Zerglings over here at the bottom of the ramp, forcing Stephano to engage with only 1 or 2 and the Queen, while the Roaches just trash the expansion. You see Spinecrawlers are gone, the drones are forced to retreat, and even with the double evolution chamber here, it's not looking so hot for Stephano. He is able to recover fairly quickly, though. He does have a nice bit of Zerglings that he made at the very last second, but you see that lost mining time on the expansion is definitely going to hurt him here. Okay, it looks like he might actually go for a counterattack. Ooh, he does have a lot of Zerglings, but you see DIMAGA has a good number of Roaches right here. We can actually look at the income tab and see the result of that. Of course, Stephano is getting his income will be going up a little bit here from its previous spot of not having income at the natural, but that certainly did give DIMAGA a slight mineral advantage, which you could see. He is just pretty much pumping towards Roach production right now. Again, I think that's a really smart move. We might actually spot him moving out now. Could be going in maybe for the kill. We look at the army size comparison, 100 to 58, and you see the unit comparison. It's just not really looking so hot right now. 26 roaches running around for DIMAGA, a bunch of banelings, a few zerglings, a couple queens, and some drones. That's going to be about it. Stephano knows this attack is going to be coming very soon, so we're going to expect to see any last-minute defensive adjustments. We'll probably see them now. I don't know what he could do at this point, though. Watching his money, see, he's sitting at around 400, 500 minerals now, but only 50 gas, so that is not a good spot to be in. Really, the only thing he can do right now is just a ton of zerglings. He does have a lair on the way, maybe hoping to get some mutalisks, try to catch DIMAGA off guard, still in the tier 1, but I don't think DIMAGA is going to afford him that time, as now he's charging up here full force. He has a couple of banelings now this time as well. Look at that, all the banelings exploding on the roaches, doing a ton of damage. But it's just not enough. DIMAGA is able to push in here and continue the engagement in the natural, taking a GG, actually a WP rather, and winning game number 1 in this best of 5 series. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. Let's go on to game number 2 and see what happens next.